Ladies and gentlemen, the Durham Probe Special Counsel is alive and well. You might think that because it's not in the news every day that it's been dissolved. That's not true. The Durham Probe did not get the conviction of Michael Sussman. Who cares? The testimony that it obtained, that it was able to obtain from Mark Elias and especially from Robbie Mook, is the first time ever in a court of law that Hillary Clinton was implicated in a corrupt act. It's the first time ever in a court of law, okay? When Robbie Mook said that she personally approved the dissemination of information that she knew was false to the media, Robbie Mook betrayed his former employer, Madam Secretary. It's never happened ever in a court of law. Now, you might say, well, it didn't lead to anything. Nobody knew who Michael Sussman was. Whether Michael Sussman served a month in jail is completely irrelevant. We know that a whole bunch of people were hired to fabricate a lie. That was not the issue of the 18 U.S. Code 371 statute, where people conspire to defraud the United States government. That wasn't on trial. That wasn't the statute that people, the jurors were looking at. The jury was looking at whether Michael Sussman lied to James Baker, the Bureau legal counsel, Comey's top attorney at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Since everyone on the planet knew that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, or Comey, Strzok, McCabe, and everyone else involved wanted to set up and frame Trump, the jury did not believe that Sussman deceived Baker. Sussman was hired to give Baker false allegations. He was hired by Clinton to give Baker false allegations that there was a server communication between Trump and a hostile foreign country. Well, that never happened. Madam Secretary knew it was fabricated, yet told media the story, then tweeted out, along with Jake Sullivan, the news that was information that was not accurate information, that was inaccurate, the mis or dis type of information. I'm speaking in roundabout terms for a reason. But this is the type of journalism or the type of news or the type of information that Democrats are so worried about. They're so worried about this type of information. Do you understand? It could deceive and dupe people. Impressionable voters could vote for Republicans or Trump. Okay, anyway, the Durham Probe Special Counsel is going to team up with Jim Jordan at the House. When Republicans take over the House, Jim Jordan is going to do everything possible to impeach Mashed Potato Brains Joe. That won't be difficult. And he's going to head the House Judiciary Committee. Jim Jordan's amazing. And Representative James Comer, who's also very good, views Hunter as a national security risk. That's according to Business Insider. And he's going to head the House Oversight Committee. So you're going to have two very important committees teaming up with the Durham Probe Special Counsel. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But I want to just explain to you, I actually started 2 new channels, you could say. Hit subscribe to this one, but I started 2 new channels. I actually, the Bitcoin Crash channel is now Oil Prices 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel. Okay? Hit subscribe to that one. It's below in the description section. I predicted in September we would have a market crash, the economy would tank, oil prices would go through the roof. I predicted all of this. Inflation. Watch the segments. Watch the playlist. Read my article in the Federalist that was published in October of 2021. In September of 2021, I predicted everything. Now, I also said around that time in September, I said Bitcoin would crash to 10,000 or lower. It will, unfortunately. I started the Oil Prices 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel, and drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a stock market crash channel, but I revamped or It's a new channel called the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel. Okay? So you could tell where my mind is in terms of where the future of our world is going, unfortunately. The Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel. Okay? And I'm going to talk about not just the stock market crashing, because the market's going to crash, but also the geopolitical quagmires, confrontations, tragedies that could lead us to nuclear Armageddon. Okay? What can I tell you? And it's happening right now in Europe. And we've seen what alliances in World War I could cause. Okay, so the entire map of the world is now a giant, you could say powder keg, but at least Europe is for sure, unfortunately. The smartest people in the room are now in charge. Trump, the mean orange menace, who worked with the Kremlin. Of course, that didn't happen. Who couldn't have won, was never going to defeat Clinton. Of course, I stated that he would in 2016. I also predicted the stock market crash. I'm not right about everything, but Hillary's running again, people. Hello. I'll be right about that eventually. If it's not 2024, it'll be 2028, 2032, 2036. It'll happen, and I'll be right. 100 years from now, I'll be like, pushing up daisies saying, I was right about Hillary. She's running. It'll be like Night of the Living Dead, and the last words I'll say, like a skeleton, H.A. Goodman skeleton will say, see, I was right. And then the whole thing will, Anyway, Hillary's running again, eventually. I don't think mashed potato brains Joe is going to be a big problem, and I think that, that's the best way to derail the Durham Probe Special Counsel, which will build up steam in the next 2 years. The House Oversight Committee, and anyway, I want to redo of 2016, and I want every liberal, progressive YouTuber to tell their voters to vote for Hillary again, along with other reasons. We have to relive 2016 because it was a moment in time that we haven't actually moved past. Okay? I'm like a relic or a dinosaur of 2016. But in a way, this country is still living within that year. And we need to redo and once and for all 2016 and move past it. And that has to be a Hillary Trump or Hillary DeSantis, Hillary Clinton DeSantis 2024. But please go ahead and subscribe to my 2 new channels, which are, a continuation of the prior channels, but new, really, interesting, compelling stories that are relevant, because we are experiencing a nuclear confrontation right now. It's not in the news, but we're closer and closer to a nuclear confrontation. We have a sword of Damocles hanging over us. Each of the nuclear-armed countries do. And we've made a pact with the devil. So I'll get to that on the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel. The market's going to continue to decline. Oil will get to $150 per barrel, and I'll explain that on the Oil Prices 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel. So if you want to have wonderful dreams at night, just watch. Start with H.A. Goodman, and then go to the Oil Prices 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel, and then you could mosey on down to the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel, and you'll have wonderful dreams at night. So hit subscribe to all 3 channels. I apologize for spending so long, but it's important. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment and description. But ladies and gentlemen, you want to read my writing? It's on hagoodman.com. And the Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications. Daily Caller, other publications. Times of Israel, other publications also. Anyway, James Comer has stated that Hunter's a national security risk. Hunter and Joe have direct ties with the law firm that Sussman worked for, and that Elias worked for, and that Mashed Potato Brains Joe is utilizing right now. It's a huge issue, okay, because that law firm is front and center, and it's basically the Democratic Party's law firm, which comes under the scope of investigation of the Durham Probe Special Counsel, the House Oversight Committee that will be run by James Comer, and the House Judiciary Committee that will be run by Jim Jordan. And the House Intelligence Committee will probably get in on the act also. All of these committees in Congress will be run by Trump Republicans, more or less. The House Intelligence Committee is not necessarily run by a Trump Republican, although Trump supported the person running it. That will be running it. Now it's run by Adam Schiff. but the person that will run it was supported by Donald Trump. And so Jim Jordan is a huge defender of President Trump. And James Comer is very, very, very good. And I believe also Donald Trump supports him. So you will have the political arrangement. You'll have the Congress that Democrats want, which is the Congress that the bizarro world Congress, that the arrangement that will be the bizarro world for Democrats. They will be the ones investigated endlessly for 4 years. But the difference is that they actually have emails. Like, there are no emails with Trump. You just have Cassidy Hutchinson saying, "Oh, I heard something." You won't have to deal with hearsay or gossip with Hunter or Joe or Bill or Hillary. You don't need hearsay or gossip. Just read their emails. And I'm not condoning, the emails floating around, but it's like they're the ones who decide to use private servers outside the United States government. They're the ones who lose laptops. They're the ones who write incriminating emails. So, sorry, don't engage in such corruption and then type it, with your slimy little paws and, expect everyone to believe that it's a plot of another country to inform, the world of how corrupt you are. It's like, well, no, you're corrupt. So make sure that you don't engage in that corruption. You have incriminating messages. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? And then Joe forcing out a prosecutor. I mean, there's a direct correlation there. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes. You don't have to be this, cynical, person. It's right there. If the reverse were true, they'd have no problem indicting any one of Trump's children or Trump himself. But the reverse is not true. With Trump, they have to grasp at straws, and everything is this, sensationalized, apoplectic, sanctimonious reaction. Oh, my God. Oh, the horror. He threw a ketchup bottle at the wall. Oh. With the Clintons and the Bidens and the Democratic politicians, you have honest graft. And that's the way they do business. Again, I never said anything bad about Hillary Clinton's humanity or personality or morality. I never said she was immoral for using private services. I said it's just a criminal act. I never even said that Bill was immoral, although he is in many ways. But I never even mentioned I never judged them as human beings, or Hunter. That's not the way I roll. I don't judge it. I don't say, oh my goodness. That's the way Democrats and never Trumpers are, which is hilarious. I just looked at private servers with top secret intelligence. Okay, and I want Hillary. She will run again. I want her to be the Democratic nominee. Nobody on YouTube wants Hillary Clinton to be the Democratic nominee and run again more than me in 2024. 2016, obviously, different story. The Supreme Court, they don't like now, is the fault of them cheating Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders at that point in time, even though I support Trump and DeSantis, Bernie Sanders would have won. Okay, if you've lasted this long, he would have won at a moment in time. Not the Bernie of today, not the Bernie of one day after, November in 2016. The Bernie of that moment. Lightning in a bottle, that moment. Okay? Anyway, hit subscribe. All they needed 3 states. Then they would have gotten those states because Comey couldn't have written a letter stating that Bernie Sanders had top secret intelligence or classified data floating around. But see, again, this is like ancient history. So that's one good reason to watch this channel. I'll always remind you of 2016. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please, please, please go ahead. Hit subscribe to the Oil Prices 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel. I have a great segment yesterday and I have a wonderful segment in about 1 hour Remember, every day at 6 and 10, but 6:30 and 10:30, I'll have segments on this channel, H.A. Goodman, and I'll have a segment at around like 9 a.m. on the oil prices 150 Bitcoin 10K recession channel. And then at around 11, I'll have a segment on the nuclear confrontation and stock market crash channel. By the way, happy 4th. While we're still around, happy 4th of July to everybody. God bless you all. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen, and be happy. I'll see you at 10:30 to my 15-minute crowd. Please be here 10:30 on this channel, in an hour on the oil prices 150 channel, and at around 11 p.m. on the nuclear confrontation